In this video, I will share with you a few details about the life of a historical figure who has fascinated me for a long time, William Tyndale. I'll visit a few places which represent aspects of Tyndale's life and take you along with me. Tyndale was born around 1494 in the village of Stinchcombe, allegedly around here, Melksham Court. And now we are heading to the next important Tyndale landmark, which is nearby at the top of a hill overlooking the area. I just climbed up the hill here in Nibley something to get to the Tyndale Monument. And that's why I'm totally out of breath. It's a little bit of a steep climb. It was just last August that I found out that William Tyndale was from Gloucestershire. So as soon as I heard that, I had to find out where exactly he was from. And I was really happy to hear that there was a monument that was built in his remembrance and that we could come visit it. And how nice that it's open all the time and you can just come and walk up inside the tower. If you want to make a donation, there's a donation box, but otherwise it's just open and you can come at any time. It is very hard to read what it says on the bottom of the monument, but it says, this was erected in 1866 in grateful remembrance of William Tyndale, translator of the English Bible, who first caused the New Testament to be printed in the mother tongue of his countrymen. Born near this spot, he suffered martyrdom at Vilvoorde in Flanders on October 6, 1586. Now we're going to climb up the steps to the top. Now I'm at the top of the Tyndale Monument, and I'm out of breath again. What is it, 110 steps, or did I make that up?
You might have made that up, I hadn't heard that.
It's a lot of steps. But the view up here, 360-degree views, really beautiful. Down there we see the town of, or village of Nibley something. I'll put a title that explains the proper name. And over here we see the Severn Valley. And over there we see a bit of water, which is the estuary for the River Severn. I think I'm pointing the camera in the right direction to show you the Severn Bridge that crosses over and Wales on the other side. Beautiful Gloucestershire countryside in all directions. And the Cotswold Hills in this direction, and the shadow of the monument. That was really nice to be able to climb to the top of the monument and look around Gloucestershire and remember William Tyndale. The village is North Nibley, and the people of North Nibley put this topograph here in 1977 to honor Queen Elizabeth's Silver Jubilee. And now I'm here in London, just a few steps away from the Thames in Whitehall Gardens, the site of the William Tyndale Monument. It's great to see a monument to his heroic life here in a city where he was banished, in a country where they wanted him dead. He had to abandon his own country to live in exile in order to stay alive and finish his life's work. Tyndale pushed back against the Roman Catholic Church as well as the Church of England, which made him pretty unpopular. In 1530, he wrote that Henry VIII should not be seeking an annulment because it was against Scripture. He fled England to work on translating the New Testament on the European continent. Cardinal Wolsey and Henry VIII both believed him to be a heretic, and he was not welcome on British soil. But in 1938, Tyndale received a place of honor and recognition here in Westminster Abbey when a tablet remembering him was installed in the south choir aisle in thankful commemoration of William Tyndale, translator of the Holy Scriptures into the language of the English people, a martyr and exile in the cause of liberty and pure religion. He fulfilled the precept which he had taught. There was none other way into the kingdom of life than through persecution and suffering of pain and very death, after the example of Christ. In the UK, Tyndale started his life in Gloucestershire and spent time studying at Oxford and Cambridge, as well as living in Bristol and London. Tyndale followed in the footsteps of John Wycliffe in translating the Bible, though Wycliffe had translated from the Latin Bible and Tyndale was translating from the original Greek and Hebrew texts. Now we leave England and travel to Belgium to see the final important place in the Tyndale story, a city northeast of Brussels called Vilvoorde. In 1524, Tyndale fled to Germany, where he lived in Cologne and Worms, before migrating to one final country, where we are now, Belgium. I wanted to make a pilgrimage to the Tyndale Museum that is located here in Vilvoorde, the place where he was martyred. The museum has very limited open hours and is rather difficult to find. But when we did finally get inside, we discovered it was a treasure trove of information about the life and work of William Tyndale. This building is built on the site of the old castle, and it used to be a prison. This was the hardest museum I have ever found. We wandered around and around because Google Maps kind of told us where to come, but you had to find this little sign here. Tyndale finished his English translation of the New Testament in 1526. The Church of England and the King ordered all copies to be burned, though they were widely circulated thanks to sympathetic printers and determined smugglers. Then he focused on translating the Old Testament into English, in addition to publishing books on religious reform. He migrated to Antwerp in about 1524 because it was a key place in Europe's printing and publishing industry. It was also a supportive environment for Protestant reformers. The volunteer at the museum gave us lots of historical information on Tyndale's life, and I'll share a bit of that with you now in her lovely Belgian accent.
William Tyndale came to Antwerp, and Antwerp was a very large community. The ideas of Luther were very popular. We had a lot of printers in Antwerp, but within the English community in Antwerp, William Tyndale was safe. He could work there safely. But then, from England was sent to Antwerp Henry Phillips. He was a spy, and he was sent to arrest William Tyndale. But he came into the community, he was very friendly. William Tyndale told him what he was doing, and then one evening Henry Phillips took William Tyndale out of the community to have a meal together. There the soldiers were ready to arrest William Tyndale. And then he was brought to the castle of Vilvoorde. He had a castle here, and it was the prison for heretics in that time. And then, the 6th of October 1536, he was first strangled and then burned outside, we think, the walls of the castle.
Here in Tyndale Park is this monument to William Tyndale. Here on this side, we have the Dutch label of what it is. And then on this side, it says it in English. To the memory of the Englishman William Tyndale. William Tyndale, who suffered martyrdom under Spanish rule on October 6, 1536, was strangled and burnt at Vilvoorde. Among his last words were these: "Lord, open the eyes of the King of England." This prayer was answered within a year by the issue under royal authority of the whole Bible in English. What's even more incredible is what it says on the plaque next to Tyndale's statue in London. Within a year after his execution, a Bible was placed in every parish church by the king's command. Outside the museum, near to where it's believed Tyndale was martyred, is this long word strip in the pavement, which reads, "Let there be light," Genesis 1:3, then Gloucestershire, 1494, to represent Tyndale's birth, and then the 6th of October, 1536, Vilvoorde, to commemorate his death, and at the end an inscription of his final words, "Lord, open the King of England's eyes." Another famous quote of Tyndale's comes from an alleged conversation he had with a well-educated man at Little Sodbury Manor in Gloucestershire, in which he said, "If God spare my life ere many years, I will cause a boy that driveth the plough shall know more of the Scripture than thou dost." The fact that the Bible is now widely available in English or virtually any language is thanks to brave and determined reformers like Tyndale, who withstood persecution as heretics and even death to bring these important translations to the people. Thank you for joining me as I traveled around to several important locations in the life and death of William Tyndale. He inspires me to find purpose in life and to hold fast to those things that are most important. Thanks for watching this video, and do something good in the world today.